Good morning, everybody. We're back here in Laguna Beach on this beautiful job. Nice ocean views. But it's funny because this job just keeps expanding and expanding. We first started with the driveway, then they added this block wall in here, then we did this retaining wall, and now I got another phone call last night saying he just wants to do the whole side yard. And now the neighbor wants to do his driveway, both driveways. They got two driveways each on this property, and it's just one thing after another. I think we're gonna be here, we might be here all of 2025, who knows. But check it out, we're doing this whole side yard now. And then we're gonna be doing a brand new retaining wall for them in this back alleyway, this property line division area. And yeah, we'll see what else happens, but who knows, I might get another call tonight saying that he wants to do the other side of the house. So yeah, I mean, it's never ending. It's good for us though, I'm not complaining, I love it. So yeah, we're gonna get to demoing on the side yard, install a new drain system in for him. And yeah, we'll see what else he wants to add later on. Let's do it. Alrighty, so we're getting right into it. Today we're going to be stuccoing up this wall here. In the last episode you guys saw us do the brown coat on that wall, and just that wall alone was quite the transformation. It had a bunch of old grout coming out of the joints, overhung and everything, so we chipped it, sanded it down, grinded it down real nice and flat. Then we applied our brown coat, let that cure for a few days, then we came back to hit it with a final coat with the stucco. And we just gave it a nice float finish, and that wall looks as good as new now. So yeah, there was a lot of add-ons. This whole side yard is now add-on, and we're coming through here, removing all this old concrete out. And we gotta be careful when we're digging here because, like I said, and you guys saw it in the last episode, a lot of these pipes here are real shallow. We're also taking out this retaining wall, this concrete wall. You could see it was already failing and leaning. That was another add-on they threw in on me the previous night before we came in here to do the demo. But it was a good choice on their end. Really, the neighbor should have taken out that sidewalk above that retaining wall as well, but he insisted on leaving it because he said no one uses it. So I was just like, okay, no problem. I mean, we don't gotta do that. But you could see they did some spec mix patchwork along the house because they were having some water issues with the water. I mean, really, that whole side needs a drain system as well, and then re-pour the concrete and do it proper. But it's okay because we can always do that later, the way we poured this out. So if he changes his mind in the future, that's an option. But it would have been real easy if we did it now because we had that existing drain line that we're going to be throwing in here for this side yard that we're working on. We're going to be installing a 3-inch drain line. We could have tapped it in for that walkway as well. But yeah, this is a little tricky side yard. The tenant that lives in that unit where there's a tarp hanging on the side of it, they have one tenant living in that unit that constantly gets flooding. So every time it rains, water comes into his house, and then they have a sub pump in his bathroom, and it pumps all the water back out. It's a real crazy situation. So he even put that tarp up there to try to mitigate some of that water from coming in. However, it was coming in from the bottom, not the top. But it might be coming in from the top too, I don't know. But anyways, we're gonna install a proper drain system and waterproof that side of the building, so hopefully he doesn't need a sub pump in his restroom floor anymore. That's the goal, at least. You can see all these big old pipes hanging off the side of the house. I believe they're old galvanized pipes, but those are all sewer lines. And as we began digging, we realized the sewer lines beneath grade are all corroded. They completely had failed, and when people were flushing the toilets and using the sink, everything would come out on the side right there where we were working, where the tractor was, and it would just kind of flood the side yard with sewage. So it was quite an unpleasant experience dealing with that. So we insisted on changing those sewer lines to the homeowner, and he went ahead and went with it. Right here, the track busted on Timmy. Timmy was running the tractor, and he hit that old stump that was in there, that palm tree stump that you guys saw in the last episode, and it completely split the track in half. I never quite seen something like this, but again, I've only been using tracked equipment like this for probably the past year, and these tracks were only maybe 8 months old at max. I'm not quite sure how long tracks usually last. If you guys know, let me know in the comments below. But this track didn't last long at all. I felt like.
Okay guys, so as we were demoing out the side yard right here, the tire came off and it actually ripped slightly. Hopefully we can get it back on, keep getting the rest of this demo done. I got the tool.
Oh, you got it.
It ripped right here and then came off. It must have been something I dragged it on right around here.
It's probably that stump, dude.
Yeah, it must have been the stump maybe.
You gotta stump grind that baby, it's too hard to pull out.
Yeah. Definitely a bummer. As long as you have Enrique with you. No, but all you need is one of these tools. You loosen this thing up, it loosens the tension on the track system, then we can pop it back on. Then all we do is tighten it back up, get it spinning again, and it's back on in no time. Hopefully no time. It's tight though, dude. You might need leverage. You need like a pull. Yeah. Got it, huh?
Yeah.
Good, only tire.
Beautiful. And just like that, the tire's back on.
Here's the sewer line I mentioned. We're digging that out now, and it's shallow here, but it gets very steep as we work our way back. But yeah, all the sewage was just kind of coming out of the pipes right here, and it really was never going anywhere due to the corrosion. So we had to replace it with ABS.
As we were kind of taking out all this concrete over here, we noticed this was a super loose pipe right here, and it was duct tape, basically just cracked off right here, and the connection at the bottom point is so loose. So the homeowner is asking if we could just replace all this on the ground before we concrete over everything with the ABS all the way to the street. Man, this job just keeps one thing after another.
Well, guys, you guessed it. We got another add-on. We're doing the sewer line now. But as we're digging this out, check out what me and the boys just discovered. It's pretty crazy. I've never seen something like this. Here's your sewer line here we're digging out. You can see how bad it's done. It's only not even a foot below grade. It gets a lot deeper down here though. But we're digging, right guys? And as we're coming back this way, Enrique's foot landed in this hole as he was digging back. And he got kind of scared and he was like, Tyler, check this out. And look at this hole we found. This is a massive like mountain or something. There's only a few inches of dirt, but this is about 7 feet deep. Shit. Now, I don't think these properties are on septic, so I don't think that's a septic tank. But I think it was just, this was like, because we're on a mountain right now in Laguna Beach. This might have just been like a mountain that they backfilled and the soil moved over the years. I'm not sure. But look at that hole, I mean, you don't want to fall in there. And there's our sewer line we got to be at. Yeah, if you fall in there, there's no getting out. So what I actually think that was the old septic tank before the city had their own sewer system or their sewer lines. I think we hit the original septic tank built with the house originally.
All right, guys, we have exposed the whole sewer line, taken out the galvanized pipe, but this is why I don't like doing sewer lines or plumbing Smells completely terrible and awful right here. Luckily, we're able to just kind of smash on the pipe and it breaks out real quick and easy. We got a long ways to go though.
Yeah, that sewer line was difficult. I guess you could say it was shitty. But yeah, I mean, we were working on that thing and definitely had a couple splashes of poop hit our mouth a few times. No biggie. We just swallow and keep going. It is what it is sometimes. When you're working construction, you just got to do it. And you don't ask questions, you just go. It's kind of like one of these situations here. It's probably the first sewer line I've ever done and probably going to be my last. They're not very fun. Unless you're going to be making a ton of money on it. It's not my cup of tea. Anyways, we're getting this wall framed out, formed up. Stakes, looks like Luis put them every 12 inches with kickers every 12 inches as well, which is pretty intense. But you're definitely gonna know that it's not gonna blow out when you have stakes spaced out like that. So it's good practice. I don't mind it. Just makes it a little more difficult to form, or not to form, but to strip when you're getting ready to face the wall and finish it. But if you got the right crew there, no biggie. Now we're just throwing a couple 8-inch spacers in between the wall just to make sure it's a solid 8 throughout. And then we're dropping some pink bar in there as well. Here's the driveway we're going to be pouring out. We got Enrique grading the base here. He's got his string lines pulled and he graded it out, and now he's compacting.
Alright guys, so we're here taking out the driveway today. We're gonna be repouring all the concrete in this area right now, or tomorrow actually. We're hoping to get all this taken out today, all of this setup done, rebar placed today so that we can pour tomorrow. We also are gonna be pouring out this retaining wall right here and the driveway in the front over there. So we got a lot to get done today. Hopefully we can get it all done and pour this concrete tomorrow.
Yeah, so the tenant that lives in the back here, he's in a wheelchair, so we didn't want him to be without a driveway and access to his home. So basically we had to get this little driveway demoed out and poured out in 2 days, and that's what we did here. We wanted to pour out this side yard to the right hand side of the screen at the same time as this driveway. However, when you're pouring out that retaining wall, it's going to be basically impossible to pour out that wall while we pour out the side yard, because when you're stripping those big 20-foot 2x12s, it's hard to stand on wet concrete and strip it. But here it is, demoed out. We got a nice straight edge on this asphalt we cut out because it was super crooked before, and we wanted to make sure it was a nice straight face for the new concrete to sit on. Otherwise it'd look kind of funky if it was all crooked. So we cut it as deep down as we could, and then Junior's just taking that little bit of edge off, whatever's left. So that driveway to the left and then that big old concrete retaining wall is going to be poured out all at once. And then on the next pour we'll do that side yard. It's the only way to do it in this kind of situation. And you also can maintain quality control a lot better this way too, so that's what it's all about. You could probably get away with doing it all at once, but it'd be a headache and you might lose quality in the process. So we're getting our 3/8 number 3 pink bar laid out. This is Owens Corning pink bar, and it's real good stuff for the kind of work we do. The best part about it too, especially on a beach city like this, where we're maybe a minute walk away from the ocean, is that this rebar here is never gonna rust, no matter how salty it is or how wet it gets or whatever. This stuff's gonna stay the same basically, so you're not gonna have to worry about it expanding and contracting and blowing up inside the concrete. It's gonna stay the same and it's gonna hold it together. So there's our little grid right there for this little walkway and driveway. We also had to pour a little curb along the house, so that's what you see there. We framed up, and that's just protecting the house from any water issues, and then also the foundation. We had to cover up the foundation, otherwise it'd look a little jagged. This is your old trusty corded scale saw. Can't go wrong with the corded ones. They got power indefinitely.
All right, good morning everybody. We are here bright and early for this concrete pour. We're gonna be pouring out this driveway. We're also gonna be pouring out the wall up top. I'll take you around in a bit, and the back driveway. We got about 5 yards, maybe 5 to 6 yards for this driveway right here. We got our laser out right now. It's super early, so it's really hard to see anything. But we got our laser out, getting all our levels established. We're gonna get our screed pin set up right here, because we couldn't really snap a wall since this wall is so jagged and it's kind of bellied out right here. It's really hard to get a straight string line snapped on this. So we're pulling a string line, get our screed pin set up right there. I think they're gonna try to get one right now. Yeah.
Dude, that girl said she's gonna call the cops on us right now.
Who?
The neighbor. She said the noise start time in Laguna Beach is 7:30.
Oh, that's crazy.
Here's the street pin.
Better get that on camera. Alright guys, so you know how we like to pour early, and we like to get set up, make sure that everything's on point before we pour. It looks like the neighbor's already pissed, so we might get the cops called on us over here in Laguna Beach. Super anal cops. We'll see what happens. But what we're gonna be doing back here, we're gonna be pouring out this wall. We got our pink rebar in here, the fiber rebar. We're oiling up everything because we're gonna strip all this and face this wall. And then we're gonna also be pouring this driveway right here. We got a little curb as well because the footing is very high. But yeah, and then we do have a rip right here. This board goes about from 6 to 0 because the concrete driveway and walkway right here are at different elevations. But yeah, so that's basically the whole pour. Should be a good one. A little bit more. Yeah, 42.5 would be like right about there. Yeah. Okay. But I don't know, you want to just hit it on the corner?
Just hit the corner, dude.
I think we should just go to the corner. It's only
How
like
many more inches is that?
It's only like 3 more inches, I think.
Oh yeah.
But it's 5 more inches, but it's not that bad.
Should I put it right here and restart right here, correct?
We could do that too. Yeah, and then.
Right here, correct.
Oh, yeah, from there and then the wing from this way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we could do like that. Yeah. All right, concrete's here. Ready to start pouring it out.
So I always like to brief the finishers before we pour the joint layouts, so everyone's on the same page and everyone's on board, especially when it comes to those apron approaches. I want to make sure they come out correct. We had quite a bit of finishers on this pour. Probably could have cut a few guys, honestly, but I actually had to leave, so I wasn't here for this pour. I was here for the next pour, but I left him on this one because I actually had to go pour out some concrete on another job that day. So I left this one in my brother's hands, and it came out good. We are gonna see a surprise here in a second. You guys are gonna be seeing that. From what I heard, little mishap happened, but sometimes that's just how it goes with concrete, and we'll evaluate it here in a second and see what actually went down and whose fault it was. Yeah, we should have also probably put plastic along this house here. We usually do. I don't know what happened. Maybe we ran out. We usually do plastic all of our jobs. However, even if you plastic them, when you work with concrete, it's bound to, spill and splatter. So there's always going to be cleanup to do, especially when you're working in, tight quarters like these. We're not working out in big open fields or anything like that. We always have big objects and structures around us that we got to be careful with, and yeah, we always try our best. And if we don't get it on the pour day, we'll come back and clean it up and definitely make sure the customer's happy.
Oh yeah, baby.
So we didn't bring the vibrator today, and it's a good thing we didn't, but you can see here we had a blowout. Everyone's kind of holding it together, and I don't think it was because of the forms on this one. I think it was because, one, the guys were shoving the stakes in there, trying to jiggle all the concrete down to the bottom, and that can really affect the forms. But not only that, it's the pumper's fault more than anything, because the pumper on this job was slamming these forms hard and heavy all the way to the top. Usually pumpers don't really know, but you got to tell them, like, you want to pump these walls halfway up or maybe a quarter of the way up at a time, and then you come back and then you hit another quarter of it and another quarter and another quarter until it's filled up to the top. Either that, or you could even go half. You can do fill it up halfway and then come back, fill it up the other half, but you never just want to start off and try to fill it up to the top. You can see there it's about 3/4 filled, and that's on the first pass. We didn't even go down the line yet. So when you have all that concrete into just one specific area, it's a lot of pressure on these forms, and that's what can cause it to blow out. You also don't really want to vibrate these, because we have stakes here 12 inches on center, and we got bracers, kickers every 12 inches as well. So I don't think it was a lack of stakes necessarily. I do think it was something to do with the pumper and the guys trying to jiggle the concrete down. I'm not sure what they did to fix it. It looks like they're just pushing it, which typically never works 100%, but maybe they got it. I'm not sure. My brother was telling me they pulled out the tractor, and the tractor came in, and they also shoveled out a lot of the concrete. As you can see there, you could see where the old concrete was because of the board. It was about all the way to the top, so they had to shovel all of that concrete out, and now they're just shoveling it back in. So yeah, you got to be real careful with these pumpers, man. They just want to pump it in and get out of there and go. You got to really be on them and tell them how to do it, how to do their job, basically, because a lot of these pumpers don't care. I know there's a couple good pumpers out there that know what the hell they're doing, but this kid's new.
So as you guys saw, as we were pouring this out on the side yard, the wall had a little bit of a failure. We needed more bracing. So we had to scramble on the side yard, grabbing as many 2x4s, 4x4s actually, whatever we could find on this job site, because we literally used all of our wood for this wall, the driveway, and Tyler just left to another job and took our last 2x4 actually. So we scrambled trying to find anything we could to brace this wall. We got our brace back up though, got it pushed back to nice and straight. But yeah, that was a little bit of a little headache right there. As you can see, we literally used the house as our bracing, the foundation of the house, to get this thing back to nice and straight. Luckily we got a lot of good guys here, fast acting on these kind of situations.
So yeah, Tim thinks it was because of the bracing, and I didn't really think so, but after looking at the forms there, it looks like they didn't have any kickers on it, and you know, your kicker's got to be at a minimum of 45 degrees, otherwise it's not going to work. And it looks like the form job was just insufficient, maybe. On top of the pumper pumping it all the way to the top without doing a quarter first and then a quarter in layers. Looks like they just pumped it straight to the top and tried to vibrate it in with the stake. So yeah, it was a combination of things, I think, but let me know what you guys think, why that happened. I'd like to see what you guys are thinking about that. Interesting though, as I'm sure you guys saw in the last video too, where we poured out 300 linear feet of wall. We did like, yeah, 300 linear feet of wall, 3 feet high, and we didn't have a single blowout in it. So I guess it really just depends on the form and how you pump it in there. Because when we pumped it in there on that big wall we just did, we did half at a time, and it worked out really good like that. So that's gonna be it for pour one. We poured it all out, and now we're gonna do the rest of the concrete on pour two, and that'll complete this job up. So now we got our 3-foot wooden bowl float out on this, and we're just kind of scraping any humps down and leveling this baby out, getting her real nice and flat, pushing down those rocks and pulling up that cream. After we hit it with that 3-foot bowl float, we're gonna come through with the funny float and start funny troweling it, or not funny troweling it, but funny floating it everywhere. And that's your initial laydown. Here's that wall that blew out on us. We got this baby all edged up. Now we just got to give this thing some time to kind of dry and set in place while the concrete gets hard. Start pulling stakes now, it's just going to blow out again. Luckily we didn't have any blowouts on this little curb. So it looks like at this point they already cut in all the joints. Now they're already getting out there on their hands and knees, troweling it out. Enrique is stripping the face of this curb over here. He's looks like he's finishing this out himself, and it's looking real good. These curbs can be a little more tricky. Anytime you're finishing a face and a top and a bottom, definitely is a little more tricky, but it's a lot more fun too than just your regular flat work. There's an 8-foot cutter that cuts it about 1 inch deep. So on a 4-inch slab, you're a quarter of the depth down, which makes for a sufficient crack control joint. Then you can follow that up with your walking joiner. And it's pretty hard to cut a crooked line with those 10-foot cutters, because it's just so long. If you cut them crooked with that, you gotta be a magician, really. I see guys that'll cut, 30, 40, 50-foot joints with a little 1-foot cutter, and it surprises me how they can even cut those and cut it straight. I'm not sure if they are straight. Actually, they might not be, but I'd be surprised if they were. Let me know what you guys cut your joints with. You guys running the long 8-footers, 10-footers, or you guys just kind of freehanding them with little 1-footers? There's your top tool for the curve. And they also make a bottom tool, so you can hit your top, bottom, and then you trowel out the face. There's a square concrete trowel. That's apparently what real finishers use from what I hear, but yeah, they all work good to me. Here's this little curb that tapers off into nothing. Little tricky on the formwork, but you can see how nice it came out. So this was a standard remove and replace. We removed and replaced it the same exact way it came out. It's just a lot nicer now. This is a special bottom tool because what it does is it puts a joint along the face and the bottom, kind of what I was talking about in the previous video as well, but it's nice because there's always going to be a crack where that curb meets the slab on the bottom, so you always want to put a joint there, and that's exactly what we did. It's a nice tool for that. I forgot what it's called, but it's really nice. Anyways, here's the face of the wall here. We're stripping it. And you know, some people like the natural wood finish, how it is right there. It gives you like a wooden plank finish. It looks like this is gonna be about the final pass, and then we're gonna be hitting this concrete with just a standard broom finish, and that goes for the wall as well and the flat work. This is a driveway and we're on a pretty steep slope here, so we want to give it a nice good broom finish just to make sure the people who are on this driveway won't slip in case of a rainstorm or whatever it may be. That'll kind of take care of that. We're also joining the face of this wall every 8 feet, and that just ensures that it won't crack. Sometimes when you can't get your edger or your joiner into the joint, we have a little piece of aluminum or piece of metal that we hammer into the joint just to get it deeper. So when we go ahead and run our hand joiners, it'll slide in there smooth, and we can get some cream on the face of that joint. There's little tricks. There's a lot of little tricks to finishing, but it all makes sense. Now he's just trialing it over the joint to get a bunch of cream in there, and then right after that he'll go ahead and pass his hand joiner. And you can see how nice that joint will come out. Here it is. Boom. Now you got a perfect edge on both sides of that joint because of that cream. Definitely an art. Notice how we joint everything below where the slab meets the curb. It's definitely going to crack there, so we always do it. Now we're getting that nice smooth finish on the driveway here, and we can go ahead and broom it. The trick to these faces, if there's a lot of rock pockets in them when you strip the forms, is just to float the heck out of it. Once you float it enough, you'll pull up some cream on that face. Same concept as flat work. It's a little different because you're facing the wall instead of being able to put all your pressure down on the ground, but same exact concept, and you'll get enough cream to float up on that face. Then you can trowel it out and give it a nice smooth finish, or broom it. In this case, we are going to broom this one as well, but we've done a bunch of these curbs and walls just a smooth trowel finish, and looks really nice. Gives you a nice modern look. Here it is, the world famous 50% horsehair, 50% nylon concrete broom. So this isn't your regular 100% nylon concrete broom, the green ones that you usually see concrete finishers running. This has a 50% mixture of horsehair in it, and it makes for a really nice broom finish. Not only that, these brooms last forever if you take care of them right. You can always get the fur to stand straight again, whatever way you want it. Same thing for this driveway, we're giving it the 50-50 special. So as one guy is hitting it on the final pass on the knee boards, you got one guy coming back with the broom. So you gotta kind of work monolithically with your co-workers here and get it done right. There she is, that's your final driveway finished product. Came out really nice, a lot better than what it was before. Before this it was just a pile of dirt that was sitting here for who knows how long, 100 years maybe. Now it's a proper driveway. We're gonna go ahead and clean that water lid up as well, but the driveway itself came out perfect. Same thing for the neighbor's driveway in the backside in the alley. This one came out just as good. However, we switched up. It looks like they hit it with the 100% nylon concrete broom for this side. And sometimes that happens if concrete's getting a little too hard. You might want to bust out the nylon. It's usually a little bit more firm on the bristles, so you can get a better broom finish if the concrete's getting too hard. So that's gonna do it for this part of the series. We finished pouring out this wall here. It came out beautifully. And we also did the back driveway on the other neighbors, and then we did the front driveway on our customers. And then in the next part, we'll be doing this whole side yard here with drains. And then we'll be doing the neighbor's front driveway on the next one. So we had to kind of go back and forth in between the two customers here to make it work, and it worked out just fine. The driveway here came out just as nice. You could see we got really nice concrete, and it's just it's a real beauty. Let me know what you guys think about the concrete work down below. Nothing wrong with that, but appreciate you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll be seeing you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Bye.